Welcome back to our minute-to-minute analysis of Matrix Revolutions. Last time, Neo awoke in a strange construct without being connected to the Matrix. Morpheus had a suspicion that Neo was inside the simulation and ran a search throughout the system, but Neo was nowhere to be found. Also, the Oracle has summoned Morpheus. So where is Neo? And what does the fortune teller have to say to the man that she has lied to all this time? Let's find out. Welcome to Matrix Explained.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
Before we begin today's video, we would like to invite you to visit the Street Fighter Verse, a channel dedicated to everything Street Fighter. Would you like to know what is the Hadouken, or if Bison has been dead the entire time? Then please visit Street Fighter Verse. Link to the channel in the description below. Neo was greeted by a little girl named Sati in an unknown place. She tells him that they are in a train station and that where she is going, he cannot follow. Why? Because the train man won't let him. And if they don't do what the train man says, he will trap them in the station forever. This is important because Rama and Kamala possibly knew of some poor souls that were or are trapped somewhere in Mobile Ave, enemies of the Merovingian, or some programs that did not follow his rules. The train man is a powerful and terrifying program indeed. Elevator doors open, and Seraph, Morpheus, and Trinity walk down a corridor similar to the one that led to the architect's room. The differences are that this corridor is dark, dreary, and green, with some graffiti on the walls. The corridor to the architect's room was bright and clean. The movie is showing us that the Oracle and the architect are opposites, similar yet different. The trio enters the Oracle's home, and it is just as dark and depressing as the corridor, much different from how it looked in the first movie, and the potentials are nowhere to be seen.
Morpheus, Trinity, thank you for coming.
The woman in front of Morpheus and Trinity is not the Oracle they remember. She is dressed in similar clothing, but with added accessories. A pair of yin and yang earrings. These earrings may reveal the Oracle's true nature. Yin and yang is a concept of dualism, describing how seemingly opposite or contrary forces may actually be complementary, interconnected, and interdependent in the natural world, and how they may give rise to each other as they interrelate to one another. In Chinese cosmology, the universe creates itself out of a primary chaos of material energy, organized into the cycles of yin and yang, and formed into objects and lives. Yin is the receptive, and yang the active principle, seen in all forms of change and difference, such as the annual cycle, winter and summer, the landscape, north-facing shade and south-facing brightness, female and male. Yin-yang is the combination or fusion of two cosmic forces.
If I am the father of the Matrix, she would undoubtedly be its mother.
The Oracle's nature is clearer now. She and the Architect are two opposite forces that work within the Matrix. They are two separate entities that complement each other. Previously, we've talked about generative adversarial networks. These are artificial intelligence programs designed to compete against each other to learn and perfect themselves. The Oracle and the Architect function as adversaries, but their conflict results in the betterment of the simulation. However, the yin and yang symbolism is not limited to the mother and the father. We also see it in Neo and Smith. In these first 5 minutes of the film, we have seen the fundamental idea of the plot, how to reconcile this duality. How could Neo defeat Smith if he is a part of him? How could the Oracle beat the Architect if they complement each other? Matrix Revolutions seeks to resolve these paradoxes.
One thing I've learned in all my years is that nothing ever works out just the way you want it to.
Curious. At first, we thought that the Oracle was referring to how things did not go the way she planned. But she might be referring to Morpheus. She knows that those who go to her for guidance don't end up getting what they were looking for. Morpheus was searching for an end to the war. The war is about to end, but not in the way he envisioned.
Who are you?
I'm the Oracle. I wish there was an easy way to get through this, but there ain't. I'm sorry this had to happen. I'm sorry I couldn't be sitting here like you remember me. But it wasn't meant to be.
What happened?
I made a choice, and that choice cost me more than I wanted it to.
Interestingly, Morpheus and Trinity seem confused that the Oracle has a different look, rather than the fact that she can change it at all. So either Neo told them off camera that she was a program, or the Red Pills already knew and they never told him.
What choice?
To help you, to guide Neo.
That's odd. The answer that she gives Morpheus and Trinity, which is that she lost her shell to help Neo, is not the same answer she gave Ghost.
Can you tell me what happened to you?
2 programs that I trusted sold the termination code of my original shell to the Merovingian.
Why did they do that?
For love. For the life of their child.
You knew about it, and yet you let it happen.
I had to.
So which answer is the right one? Both. The Oracle chose to sacrifice her shell to help Neo and bring Sati into the Matrix. A risky move, one of which we'll be discussing in greater detail in another video. Coincidentally, Neo's consciousness ended up in Mobile Ave at the precise moment when Sati and her parents were waiting for the train man. So did the Oracle orchestrated this meeting? Did she know the importance of the conversation between Neo and Ramachandra? Did Neo need to meet Sati? This is cause and effect on full display. The Oracle is a clever one.
Do you know what happened to Neo?
Yes. He is trapped in a place between this world and the machine world. The link is controlled by a program called the Train Man. He uses it to smuggle programs in and out of the Matrix. If he finds out where Neo is before you get to him, then I'm afraid our choices are going to become difficult.
Why?
Because of who the Train Man works for.
The Merovingian.
The Oracle sent Seraph with them to help find the train man. Trinity and Seraph prepared to leave, but Morpheus still has some questions. How things have changed. Morpheus is the only one who is doubting the Oracle's words. For the first time, he questions her reasons.
Oracle.
I know, Morpheus. I can see you are filled with doubt, clouded by uncertainty.
After everything that has happened, how can you expect me to believe you?
I don't. I expect just what I've always expected, for you to make up your own damn mind. Believe me or don't.
Fascinating that the Oracle does not justify herself to Morpheus. She doesn't even attempt to apologize for withholding information from him, for leading him with false prophecies. She doesn't have to explain anything to Morpheus. The Oracle knows that he will still do what she wants him to. You can tell that Morpheus is irritated with the Oracle, and so is she with him. Morpheus doesn't like being a pawn. He surely remembers what the Merovingian said when he told them that he does not know the why. Morpheus has never questioned the Oracle before. At this moment, the Merovingian is being proven right, and Morpheus no longer knows who is a friend and who is a foe. Matrix Revolutions is beginning to be a deeper film than Matrix Reloaded, presenting topics such as yin and yang, duality, conflict of beliefs, paradoxes, and more. And we are only 10 minutes into the movie. But do you agree? What do you think about the yin and yang symbolism and Morpheus's conversation with the Oracle? Next time, we might discover the reason why the Oracle planned the meeting between Neo, Sati, and her family. For Matrix Explained, please leave a like and subscribe. And thank you for visiting the Desert of the Real.